I wanted it to be a moat filled with spiky blowfish. And I didn't want the Mexican...
Welcome to Hollywood's Hall of Shame, where we're pulling back the curtain on Tinseltown's biggest jerks. Grab your popcorn and maybe a pitchfork. We're about to expose the most notorious jerks in Hollywood. 1. Reese Witherspoon, America's supposed sweetheart. Our beloved Legally Blonde star apparently has a reputation that's not quite as pink and perfect as Elle Woods. During a notorious traffic incident, Reese and her husband were caught weaving through traffic like they were auditioning for Fast and Furious. When approached by an officer, she pulled out the celebrity card with the classic line, "Do you know who I am? You're about to find out." Spoiler alert, she got arrested anyway. But that's not all our sources at Star Magazine revealed. Reese allegedly terrorizes staff with her demands and expects everyone to tiptoe around her fragile ego. Word has it, she even refuses to remove her sunglasses because she's afraid of making eye contact with commoners. It seems like there's a lot of entitlement hiding behind that sweet smile. Julia Roberts, another American sweetheart, isn't immune to controversy either. Steven Spielberg himself declared he wouldn't work with her again after her behavior on the set of Hook was less than magical. The crew even nicknamed her Tinkerhell, not exactly the fairy tale reputation you'd want. Her own sister claims Julia's ego and fame destroyed their relationship, and her I Love Trouble co-star Nick Nolte despised her so much they had to film scenes separately. 2. Mike Myers, Comedy Kings Gone Wrong. The man who made us laugh as Austin Powers apparently harbors a control freak nature that could rival Dr. Evil himself. Stories circulate about his narcissistic tendencies, including firing people just for making eye contact. Hollywood eventually got fed up with his antics and decided to end his casting reign, with many collaborators labeling him as unbearable. Chevy Chase, the comedy legend, seems to have perfected the art of being universally disliked. From his SNL days to his iconic National Lampoon roles, Chase delivered unforgettable moments on screen. However, his off-screen behavior was anything but funny. His former SNL co-stars openly expressed their distaste for hosting with him, and his talent for rubbing people the wrong way followed him throughout his career like an unwanted shadow. 3. Tom Cruise. The man with the $1 million smile has earned quite a reputation as a control freak. During the filming of Top Gun Maverick, he allegedly went on a power trip, instructing Navy sailors not to speak to or even look in his direction. While his talent in action films is undeniable, his behavior towards military personnel raises eyebrows. Perhaps Maverick needs a crash course in humility. Tobey Maguire might have played the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, but his real-life behavior is far from heroic. In one infamous incident, he allegedly demanded a cocktail waitress bark like a seal for a tip. This kind of behavior doesn't just cross lines, it leaps over them with all the grace of a drunken superhero. 5. Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer Lawrence has developed a reputation for being harsh with her devoted fans. While she's openly admitted it's a defense mechanism against overzealous admirers who want a piece of her 24/7, there's certainly a more graceful way to handle fan interactions. Perhaps she could take some lessons from other celebrities who have mastered the art of politely declining fan requests without burning bridges. 6. Sandra Bullock, despite her charming on-screen presence, has faced controversy over her treatment of fans. One particularly troubling incident involved her allegedly berating a disabled veteran who simply asked for an autograph. While we shouldn't jump to conclusions without knowing the full context, it's a reminder that even our favorite stars can have their not-so-stellar moments. 7. Cameron Diaz seems to treat autograph requests like they're kryptonite, protecting her precious signature as if it's the last drop of water in the desert. While everyone deserves their privacy, there's a fine line between setting boundaries and being unnecessarily difficult with fans who simply admire your work. Remember, folks, while we may love their movies and admire their talents from afar, it doesn't mean we can't call out their less than stellar behavior. After all, sometimes even Hollywood's biggest stars need a reality check. Just like their characters face consequences on screen, their real-life actions deserve scrutiny too. Speaking of Cameron Diaz, let's dive into her infamous autograph policy that's become almost as legendary as her filmography. While she might have been Hollywood's golden girl during her prime, these days she's developed quite the reputation for turning simple fan interactions into dramatic teaching moments. Picture this: you spot Cameron at your local coffee shop, excitement bubbling up as you reach for your notebook. But before you can even finish your request, you're treated to an impromptu TED Talk about the futility of autograph collecting. It's not just that she says no, we can all respect a celebrity's right to privacy. It's the way she transforms a simple no thank you into a philosophical discourse that would make Socrates proud. She's been known to lecture fans about how collecting signatures is meaningless and perpetuates celebrity worship culture. Talk about turning a simple interaction into an uncomfortable classroom session. Let's be honest, there's got to be a middle ground between being everyone's personal signing machine and becoming the stern schoolteacher of celebrity encounters. A simple, "I'm sorry, I don't do autographs" would suffice, wouldn't it? But no, Diaz seems determined to ensure every fan walks away not just empty-handed, but thoroughly educated about their life choices. 8. Ben Stiller, the Comedy King's quirky commands. Now let's shift gears to Ben Stiller, whose off-screen antics might make you wonder if he's method acting for a comedy role 24/7. For someone who's made millions making us laugh, his real-life demands could easily be mistaken for a Zoolander outtake. Take, for instance, his legendary Ice Cube saga. The man apparently has a strict 2 Ice Cube only policy for his Diet Coke. Not 1, not 3, and heaven forbid you try to slip in a 4th, it must be exactly 2. It's like he's running a precise scientific experiment rather than enjoying a simple beverage. But wait, there's more. Stiller's parking spot politics deserve their own special mention. He reportedly requires a personal assistant to guard his parking space like it's Fort Knox, ensuring no wandering vehicle dares to encroach upon his sacred asphalt. One might wonder if his parking spot has better security than most banks. Perhaps he believes comedy genius requires its own specialized parking karma. While we could easily mock these peculiarities, let's play devil's advocate for a moment. Maybe there's some method to this madness. Could these seemingly ridiculous demands be the secret sauce behind his comedic timing? Is there a direct correlation between perfectly measured ice cubes and perfect comic delivery? Probably not, but it's fun to theorize. 9. Christian Bale, the Dark Knight of Drama. Speaking of dramatic personalities, let's talk about Christian Bale, the man who can transform from Batman to American Psycho both on and off screen. His infamous on-set meltdown during Terminator Salvation has become the stuff of Hollywood legend. When cinematographer Shane Hurlbut accidentally walked into his line of sight during filming, Bale didn't just get angry, he delivered a performance that would have made his Batman voice seem subtle in comparison. The leaked audio of this incident revealed a tirade so explosive it could have powered the Batmobile for a year. But here's the thing, this wasn't just a one-off bad day. Bale has developed quite the reputation for being intensely particular about his working environment, often taking method acting to extremes that would make Stanislavski raise an eyebrow. While his dedication to his craft is admirable, there's something to be said about maintaining professionalism even when things don't go exactly as planned. After all, even Bruce Wayne knew when to dial back the intensity and put on a charming playboy facade. 10. Lucille Ball, the queen of comedy's cold shoulder. Lucille Ball might have been television's pioneer of comedy, but off-screen, she seemed to save her charm exclusively for the cameras. The woman who made millions laugh with her physical comedy and perfect timing apparently had a different routine when it came to dealing with regular people. Think of her as the original "Don't You Know Who I Am" celebrity before it became a cliche. One particularly cringeworthy tale involves her interaction, or lack thereof, with a flight attendant. Rather than acknowledge the crew member directly, Ball allegedly insisted on communicating through her assistant, treating direct interaction with service staff as beneath her station. It's like she was playing a game of telephone, except the only person who found it amusing was herself. This disconnect between her public persona and private behavior raises an interesting question. Does being brilliant at portraying relatability on screen somehow exempt you from actually being relatable in real life? Ball's legacy suggests that making people laugh and treating them with respect don't always go hand in hand. 11. Shia LaBeouf, the troubled transformer. Finally, let's address the elephant in the room, Shia LaBeouf, whose real-life drama could fill several seasons of a reality show. From plagiarism scandals to disturbing abuse allegations, LaBeouf has managed to transform himself from a promising young star into Hollywood's poster child for problematic behavior. Let's start with the plagiarism incident, a move so bold it would make any high school English teacher's head spin. LaBeouf didn't just borrow a few ideas, he allegedly lifted entire concepts and passed them off as his own original work. It's like stealing someone's lunch from the break room fridge and then trying to convince everyone you made it yourself. Except this was on a much larger, more public scale. But the plagiarism scandal pales in comparison to the serious allegations brought forth by FKA Twigs. Her lawsuit painted a picture of abuse and manipulation that would be disturbing enough in a fiction film, let alone real life. The support from LaBeouf's previous partners who came forward to corroborate these claims adds another layer of credibility to these troubling accusations. What makes this case particularly unsettling is how it contrasts with LaBeouf's early career image as the lovable troublemaker from Even Stevens and Transformers. It's a stark reminder that on-screen charm doesn't always reflect off-screen character. As we wrap up our tour through Hollywood's Hall of Infamy, it's worth remembering that fame and talent don't automatically equate to good behavior. While we can continue to appreciate these artists' work, it's equally important to acknowledge their human flaws and hold them accountable when they cross lines. After all, in an industry built on make-believe, sometimes the most shocking stories are the real ones happening